first and second fleets used to come in here. Just there is Sydney Airport. And a few planes. You can see the towers, radar. I'm vaguely pointing because I don't have my glasses on. But this is an off-leash dog beach that my wife found, and we've just come up to have a quick look at it to see if we could probably bring the dogs here one time, because I'm sure Batman would love this beach. Breeze is chilly. It's just gone 3 in the afternoon, so we should probably head back to the house. It's about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. But yeah, so that's the airport in behind me. Botany Bay behind me. You can see up this way. Whoa, look at that. The little white posts. That's a netted off swimming area, so you can swim safely from the sharks. We wanted to see how big this beach was to make sure it wasn't just like this little tiny patch of sand, but it looks like it's a decent size to be able to bring the dogs down to sometime. I'm pretty pleased with the idea of bringing them down. Not sure what Sam would think of the sand and the water, but I reckon Batman would love it. That area is the upcoming project. My wife wants me to try and get this area finished, paved, concreted, whatever, cover over it, because then I can do my making and building and working around the house here undercover, rather than down here in front of the sheds, because we're worried about little bits of metal and that sort of stuff being lost in the ground for the puppy's feet. So I'll have to get working on this soon. So it's Monday and I've just had year 10. It's the only class I've got today. Kind of lucky in that way. Should thank the timetabler. It was another day of trying to get some safety tests completed, because it seems every time we've got a really good system on the computers. The kids get really distracted with other stuff online. And so some will sit there and get all their safety tests done, others will get one done or they'll get undone. I did the safety tests out as a paper version and we're going through them slowly. And that way, they've done the stuff for the room. I did all the demonstrations, so technically they know what they need to do, but they do need to demonstrate an understanding through a test of some sort. It's one of those things. I did a bit of timetabling this morning because we did have a staff member leave last Friday, long-serving staff member, and he's gone to another job at a different school closer to home. And so we've had to shuffle some staff around. Still got to do a little bit more shuffling there, and it involves my faculty this time, so we'll see if we can get that sorted. It's Tuesday, recess. I've just finished with year 10, so I'm catching up on their safety. One has got his table legs glued up. The girl with her jewellery box is working on her hinges and getting that all really fit well. The student making the shoe has come up with a couple of different modifications to his design, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Another one started a table today. He started cutting up his parts. He's just going to make that coffee table design down there. Had year 12 this morning, period 1, and no one showed up. 11 construction and year 12 construction the next 2 periods, so I'll be over in another workshop and we'll see how they go. Year 12 didn't show up to class for construction. I don't know whether maybe one of them got the message from Google Classrooms I gave them yesterday that I might not have been here. And they've just decided to take the whole day off, which I think is a little sad. But I did notice that there were 3 at school. They didn't come to class, so I'm going to have to follow those ones up. But in the meantime, a little bit more clearing up out here, separating some tabletops from legs and things. This is my throw-out pile. That's steel sort of stacked for scrapping. These pieces I still need to cut up like I did with all these ones. Just makes it easier to fit into the trailer or the back of the truck. Cleared this area out a bit. Got this table here, which I'm going to actually turn into a made a D stand for the cafe. So corrugated iron around the outside, that sort of thing. I want to put a shelf in here, put it up on wheels so they can roll it around. I had a couple of other chair frames out here, and you can see them up on the ramp. Made 2 more seats for the kids to sit on when they're putting on their boots and stuff like that. I'll go and document these ones who didn't show up. I might actually see some and maybe give some calls home. During the week, we ended up seeing all these little pink flags along the fence line and on trees down the back. So you can probably see one over there. And this whole back area. About 8 years ago, council and the fire brigade said they were going to try and do a fire break behind all our houses. They came in and did it today. So, finally. That man doesn't like construction workers and people around the house. So my wife had to put up some gates up near the sheds today to make sure they didn't come running down into the yard. Also because you can see where this tree was, just outside the fence line. There was another one just there. We're a little concerned that they were going to compromise the fence while they were doing it. So, all the way up there. Looks like they've got a bit of a stop thing there because there's sort of like rock features and stuff. Good boy. Is that easier bringing it back? I set the camera up and he said no. Come on. Ground's really soggy. think he's had enough. Time to go in. At year 11 and 12 today, 11 construction. In theory, they were trying to complete some stuff on their Cluster A booklet and online tasks, so they were working on that, and they were working reasonably well. Year 12 today, I only had one student show up, and he still wasn't sure on starting prac. He's still sitting on the laptop, and I came back to him and was saying, like, any questions, queries, and he goes, I could probably start something of the prac, because I mentioned the legs, and the best part is, let's see, he started. He cut 5 legs. He didn't think we had 20 minutes to go. He goes, I've only got 20 minutes. I said, well, what are you going to do for 20 minutes? So we got him in here. He marked one out, cut it, and then used that to mark out the rest. He's on track. I said the hardest part is now over. You started prac. You can now just continue with it. One of my staff is building a ukulele, has been. I think I showed you one of his templates before, or his jigs. So there's his little body. He's been doing some little kerf bending and stuff. He remade his jig so it's in 2 halves. There's the back of his ukulele, his hand-shaped neck. Really looking forward to him getting this finished. He's getting excited about it. I'm excited about it because I wouldn't mind making a musical instrument at some stage. It's lunchtime now. I feel so relieved that the senior, or a senior, has actually started his project, because they now have 32 hours of lessons left. It's Friday, Arvo. Had 12 construction this morning, then 11 construction, then 12 this afternoon. This morning's year 12 only had 1 student. I'll show you what he was doing. This afternoon's class had a few more show up, working on their sawhorses. Another one getting their parts together here. Got the one student who was here this morning and this afternoon. Got him onto their formwork task, so started up the formwork. Now, this isn't actually going to be concreted, it's just a task in formwork. And if you remember, I was getting this stuff cut up because it's been really hard trying to get timber. I wanted to try and buy 90 by 35 and 70 by 35 timber, and nobody would quote me because they couldn't supply it, thanks COVID. So I've cut up this stuff. It'll do for the task, and that one student, this is meant to be a group task, but I've only got one student really who's working. I got some good news today, and that was that one of my students, he signed out today because he actually got an apprenticeship as a roof tiler, which will suit him well. But some other good news, haven't spoken about this in a while. Here's our junior ag plot, and we've got carrots and potatoes and some parsley over here, and I think there's more potatoes over there. That's really grown because it used to just be a couple of garden beds. But that's really coming along well. The kids who came out this afternoon to work on this were taking care of their stuff so well, getting in there and weeding it. My staff member who has that class was really proud, and he was telling me about how well they were going. Let's head back to the staff room and tie up any loose ends and pack up and go home.